Benjamin's eyes snapped open to an impossible reality. The cold metal floor of his cell had been replaced by something warm and breathing. His arms were wrapped around a figure that definitely hadn't been there when he'd fallen asleep. The Zitherian queen lay curled against his chest, her crystalline skin shimmering with bioluminescent patterns that pulsed in rhythm. With her breathing, her forearms were tucked close to her body, and the crown-like protrusions on her head had dimmed to a soft violet glow. Benjamin's heart hammered. This was the same being who had ordered the destruction of Earth's colonies, the same monarch who had declared humanity a pestilence to be eradicated. And she was sleeping on him. He didn't dare move. The slightest disturbance could wake her. And Benjamin had seen what happened to the last human who had startled a Zitherian guard. The memory made his stomach turn. The cell door remained sealed. Security drones hummed outside, their patrol patterns unchanged. Somehow, the most powerful being in the Zitherian Empire had entered his cell undetected and fallen asleep. In the arms of her enemy, Benjamin's mind raced through possibilities. A test, a trap, some bizarre form of psychological torture. The Zitherians were known for their cruelty, but this seemed too strange even for them. The queen shifted, her secondary arms extending slightly. One hand delicate despite its 3 fingers rested against Benjamin's chest. Her breathing remained steady, deep. She was genuinely asleep. 3 months ago, Benjamin had been a xenobiologist aboard the research vessel Prometheus. He'd spent years studying alien life, advocating for peaceful contact, believing that understanding could bridge any gap between species. Then the Zitherians had arrived. They hadn't come to negotiate. They'd come to claim. Earth and her colonies stood in the path of their expansion, and the Zitherian philosophy was simple: dominate or destroy. The Prometheus had been captured. Most of the crew had been killed. Benjamin survived only because Elsie, the ship's chief engineer, had hidden him in a shielded compartment before sacrificing herself to give others time to escape. He'd replayed that moment every night since. Elsie's determined eyes as she sealed the hatch. Her voice over the comm: "Liv, Ben, someone has to remember us." Now he was here, in a detention center orbiting what used to be Colony 7, waiting for interrogation or execution. The Zitherians wanted information about Earth's remaining defenses. Benjamin had resolved to tell them nothing, even if it meant the queen stirred. Her eyes, 6 of them, ranged into horizontal rows, flickered open. For a moment, she seemed disoriented, vulnerable. Then awareness flooded back. She didn't scream, didn't call for guards. Instead, she pulled back slowly, studying Benjamin with that expression he couldn't read. "You're awake," she said in perfect English, her voice carrying harmonics that resonated in his bones. "So are you?" Benjamin replied carefully. "Your Majesty." She sat up, her movements graceful despite the awkward situation. Her royal robes, if they could be called that, shifted like liquid mercury. "You should be terrified." "I am, yet you didn't push me away. Didn't call for help." Benjamin met her gaze. "Would anyone have come?" A sound emerged from her throat, almost like laughter, but more musical. "Fair point." She stood, towering over him. "Do you know why I'm here, human?" "No, Your Majesty." "Neither do I." She turned toward the cell wall, her hands clasped behind her back. "I was in my chambers, reviewing execution orders. Yours was among them. Then I felt something, a pull. Before I understood what was happening, I was walking through my ship, past my guards, past security protocols that should have stopped me." She looked back at him. "I entered this cell and saw you sleeping. You looked so peaceful, despite everything, despite knowing what awaits you. And I thought just for a moment, what must it be like to sleep, without the weight of an empire pressing down?" Benjamin slowly stood, keeping his distance. "So you decided to find out?" "I don't remember deciding anything. I simply lay down. And for the first time in 300 cycles, I slept without nightmares." The admission hung in the air between them. Benjamin saw something in her eyes, then something that transcended species and conflict: exhaustion, the bone-deep weariness of someone who'd been fighting too long. "Why are you doing this?" he asked quietly. "The invasion, the killing. Your people were once explorers, scholars. I've read the old records." Her bioluminescence flared angry red. "You know nothing of my people. Then tell me." The queen was silent for a long moment. When she spoke again, her voice was softer. We were explorers. Until we encountered the Krell, they saw our peaceful nature as weakness. They took our worlds, enslaved our colonies. By the time we learned to fight back, we'd lost half our population. She touched the wall, and it became transparent, showing the stars beyond. We swore never to be vulnerable again, never to let another species grow strong enough to threaten us. We became what we had to become to survive. By becoming exactly like them, Benjamin said, double quotes, yes. No defensiveness, just acknowledgement. There's another way, is there? She turned to face him fully. Your people fought too. I've seen your military records. Humanity has plenty of blood on its hands. We do, Benjamin admitted. But we also learn. We grow. We try to be better than our worst moments. He took a step closer. That queen who fell asleep in my arms, she didn't want to be here. She didn't want to give those execution orders. Somewhere inside, she remembers what her people used to be. The queen's colors shifted through a spectrum of emotions. Even if that were true, I cannot simply. I'm not asking you to stop a war overnight. Benjamin interrupted. I'm asking you to sleep. Really sleep. And maybe when you wake up, you'll remember what peace feels like. Silence stretched between them. Outside, the patrol drones continued their rounds, unaware that inside the cell, something fundamental was shifting. Finally, the queen spoke. The human female Elsie, the one from your ship. She's not dead. Benjamin's world stopped. What? She's in detention block 7. I can arrange a transfer. You could see her. The queen moved toward the door, then paused. Consider it payment for one night of dreamless sleep. As the door opened, she looked back one final time. Tomorrow, there is a council meeting. Decisions will be made about Earth. Perhaps I will be less certain than I was before. She left, and Benjamin collapsed against the wall, his mind reeling. Elsie was alive, and somehow, impossibly, he might have just planted the seed of peace in the heart of an empire built on war. When he finally slept again that night, Benjamin dreamed not of destruction, but of a future where the species learned to close the distance between them one honest conversation, one peaceful night's sleep at a time. And somewhere in the royal chambers, a queen slept soundly, her dreams untainted by violence for the second time in 300 years.